On a quiet bend of the upper Mississippi, only a short way below its source, stands a small, forgotten grove of giants. Here a stand of red and white pines has never once felt the axe, sheltering trees that were already old when the first explorers came looking for the great river's beginning. Few people find their way here, and that is part of its magic. Welcome to Schoolcraft State Park. We are in the North Woods of Minnesota, near the small town of Deer River, roughly halfway between Grand Rapids and the great expanse of Leech Lake. This is a tiny park, only a few hundred acres, tucked into the forest at the meeting of two rivers. It is out of the way, unhurried, and easy to have almost entirely to yourself. The park sits exactly where the Vermilion River flows quietly into the Mississippi. Here the two waters join and slip on together through the pines. There are no crowds and no fanfare, just the soft sound of a current folding into a larger one, in a corner of the woods that feels a world away from anywhere. It is strange to stand beside the Mississippi here. Downstream, it will grow into a mile-wide giant carrying barges to the sea. But this close to its source, it is narrow enough to throw a stone across, winding cool and clear between grassy banks and overhanging trees. This is the great river in its youth, still finding its way south. And then there are the pines. When loggers swept across northern Minnesota, they cut nearly all of the vast white pine forests that once covered this land. But this small grove was somehow spared. It is virgin timber, old-growth red and white pine that has never been logged, a rare living remnant of the ancient North Woods. Among them stands a landmark, a towering old white pine so large and so venerable that it has become the quiet centerpiece of the park. To crane your neck up its furrowed trunk is to look at a living thing that has stood through centuries of winters, a survivor from a forest that has almost entirely vanished from this part of the world. The park carries the name of an explorer, Henry Rowe Schoolcraft. In the early 1800s, he traveled these northern territories as a geographer and student of native peoples, and his name became tied forever to one of the great geographic riddles of his age, a question that had puzzled explorers for generations. Where, exactly, did the Mississippi River begin? In 1832, Schoolcraft set out to settle it. Following the young river up through this very country, he was led at last to a modest lake in the Pinelands, and there he declared the true source of the Mississippi. He gave the lake a coined name, Itasca, drawn from Latin words for true head. The mightiest river in North America had at last a beginning on the map. But Schoolcraft did not find it alone. He was led there by an Ojibwe leader named Ozawindib, a man who already knew these waters intimately and guided the expedition along the route to the lake. What the newcomers called a discovery was, for the Ojibwe, simply home, waters they had traveled and known for countless generations. For this is Ojibwe country, the homeland of the Anishinaabe. Across this land of lakes and slow rivers grows manoomin, the wild rice that ripens in the shallows each autumn and has nourished and defined these people for centuries. To move through this landscape of water and pine is to move through a place that has been lived in and cared for since long before any map was drawn. The rivers here are alive. A great blue heron lifts from the shallows on slow wings, a bald eagle watches from a high dead pine, and along the banks a beaver has left its careful work in the willows. In the stillness of this park, with so few people about, the wild creatures of the North Woods move easily and close, as if the place belongs first to them. The land itself was shaped by ice. Great glaciers ground across this country and in melting away, left behind the sandy soils, the scattered lakes, and the gentle rolling ground that the pines took root in. In places the forest opens into dry, open pine barrens, a quiet mosaic of woods and clearings written into the earth by the retreat of the ice. There is a particular gift in a park this small and this remote. No crowds gather here, no lines form. There is only the wind moving high in the pines, the murmur of the river, and the long light falling through the trees. Schoolcraft asks nothing of you but to slow down, to walk softly, and to listen. To stand beneath these old pines is to stand in the presence of deep time. They were already tall when Schoolcraft passed this way looking for the river's source, already old when the loggers came, and somehow passed them by. Around you rises a forest that remembers the North Woods as they once were, unbroken and ancient, from horizon to horizon. So this quiet little park holds far more than its size would suggest. The young Mississippi and the meeting of its waters, a rare grove of ancient pines the loggers never touched, the search for a great river's source, and the enduring homeland of the Ojibwe who knew these waters first. A small place, easily missed and quietly unforgettable. The young river, the untouched pines, and the deep quiet of the North Woods. Thank you for watching. Follow for more interesting people, places, and things we cover on the channel.